the teams in the NFC, the team that to me is the biggest threat is the Lions, but they're in a good division right now. Now that division, do not take anything we've seen yet. This is why the NFC is still, it's so early. The NFC North, I think they've played one game. That entire division has played one game against itself. So the fact that Minnesota's 5-0 right now is fine. They're not going to this. I have news. They're not going to the Super Bowl. Okay. I know they beat the Niners. The Vikings are not going to the Super Bowl. I have news. The Atlanta Falcons are the 2 seed right now in the NFC. They're not going to the Super Bowl. I have news. The Washington Commanders having a great year. They're not going to the Super Bowl. The Bears ain't going to the Super Bowl. The Bucks ain't going to the Super Bowl. Okay. So the Saints, it wasn't that long ago. People were like, oh, the Saints, they're pretty good. They ain't going to the Super Bowl. Hell, they may not go to the playoffs. They're 2-4. So the Niners are in fine shape. You know, you can only, and this is some years you go, oh, you can only play the schedule you're given. You know, it's a college football thing or it's a college thing. Like, oh, you're 7-0. Yeah, well, hey, we haven't played anybody. You haven't played anybody. Yeah, we only play the schedule we're given. Well, you only play in the conference that you play in, and they play in the NFC, and the NFC is WAO, wide ass open right now, right? On top of that, now you got Detroit, who we'll see. Maybe in the end they'll win their division. I think there's still a very good chance that Detroit wins its division, but you know they're basically what the Niners would be on their defensive line if the 49ers lost Nick Bosa. I already thought it was iffy on the Super Bowl, but they just clearly have some juice. They've got some continuity. Their offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, is elite. They've got swag. You know, their limitation in like a big game, and Goff is awesome, but you know, can he be a championship quarterback? He's gotten there before. Maybe he could do it again. But to lose Aiden Hutchinson, you know, their other edge rushers, it's kind of like the Niners setup. Like if you don't know the Lions very well, but you know the Niners, look at the Niners and go, all right, what happens if Leonard Floyd became their best pass rusher? How would that change their defense? It would change their defense in a significant way. I mean, outside of Bosa and outside of Aiden Hutchinson on those two teams, you don't have an edge rusher ranked in Pro Football Focus's top 50. In fact, now he plays less snaps than like Marcus Davenport does for Detroit, but and the other guy Pascal. But the highest graded edge rusher on the Lions and the Niners, outside of Bosa and Aiden Hutchinson, do you know who it is? It's Sam O. Hey guys, quick moment to tell you that this video is sponsored by my friends at PrizePicks. Use the code GUY when you sign up. Make a $5 lineup, and whether you win or lose, you immediately get $50 into your account. Here's a lineup I made for this weekend. I love playing PrizePicks. I play like that. It's just make a lineup of 2 players or more. It's so quick. It's fun. I love having multiple lineups going, especially on a Thursday, a Sunday, a Saturday, a Monday. Baseball, basketball, football, hockey, college or NFL. I love going NFL. And here's what I got. I've got Brandon Ayuk more than 59.5 receiving yards. Big revenge game from the Super Bowl for him. I got Mahomes less than 248.5 passing yards. And I got Brian Flores holding Jared Goff to less than 253.5 passing yards in the Lions-Vikings game on Sunday. Go check it out. PrizePicks, code GUY. Appreciate you supporting the show. Now back to the video. The 49ers have the 3rd highest graded pass rusher in that group. So that's all to say it's a very significant injury. I think part of what makes them so special is you look at a team that they're like a younger version of the 49ers in that, you know, they've got like top 25 players on offense and top 25 players on defense, especially on offense, all over the field. And they lose maybe their best one. Now they're still Amon-Ra St. Brown is still a bear. Like David Montgomery, these guys still can run. Like they play hard. They are and they're the other thing, they're kind of mirror the Niners, a younger version of the Niners, is while their OC isn't their head coach, they have a legit, you know, Ben Johnson's just like a big time OC. So, and he refuses to leave for some reason. So right now, you got a Chiefs game this week. But the bigger picture of the NFC, if you can win this division, now you're talking about maybe you stay ahead of Detroit. If I had to bet right now, I say Detroit still wins that division, but even without Hutchinson. But I think it really hurts them when playoff time rolls around, but maybe not. Anyway, but the point is, maybe you're hosting them in a 4-5 game, and then you're going to Minnesota. Okay. So there is still going to be so much change in the NFC standings. You look at the AFC, and it's Kansas City's 1, Houston's 2, Baltimore's 3, Buffalo's 4. Will there be some change? Yeah, but some version of that group will probably be 3 of the top 4 or all 4 of the top 4 teams in the AFC. This NFC is going to be this thing's all over the place. So we are it could look completely different by the time we get to December, let alone by the time we get to the playoffs. So the Niners are in good shape from that standpoint. You think about Philly. Philly is 3-2, battling to beat the Browns. And if you're Philly, you got to feel okay, except for the fact that, Sirianni's screaming at Browns fans and then telling his team in the locker room afterwards, like hungry and humble. It's amazing. So Dallas is Dallas, meaning they may make the playoffs, but they're kind of the same team that they've always been. So in other words, you stay ahead of them, you play them at home, great. They get ahead of you, you play them on the road, great. As long as the Niners can kind of be a little more, I think the Niners have to be a little more disciplined in the margins, and that means figuring special teams out a little bit. A lot of it. But to me, what it really means is if they're going to become this, we're going to throw the ball a little bit more team, they've got to do it efficiently. I would love to see them. I like the version of them that's we run the ball. I think it's a more natural fit for Kyle Shanahan, but they're going to be that we throw the ball a little bit more team. Okay. If that's what you got to be, then that's what you got to be. But I think it opens you up to some issues. And I think we've seen that this year. So the good news is Purdy's better than he was last year. I think Brock's in good shape. And he's going to have a great matchup, a great opportunity. It's fun to see him go up against this Chiefs defense this week.